Welcome to the Blame It on the Boogie podcast. We just, tonight, three average brothers, better than average, just here to talk to each and every one of you about sports. As always, today, we have Dorian, the Almighty, the Wonder Mouse Brown from Richmond, California. We have with us again, 2 weeks in a row, Dante Geechee Dan Nash from Phoenix, Arizona. And of course, you have me, Rod D, right here from the Detroit, Michigan. DOOZE is tied up for the night. So we're going to roll on with the show, and he'll catch up with us next time. We all, as always, want to thank each and every one of you for joining in with us. This is episode number 26. 26. And what is it? In Spanish, is 26.
I can't count that high.
26.
I'm trying to learn. 26. I'm trying to learn.
26.
No.
26.
Whatever.
26.
That's what you
26.
You learn it from Babbel or from Bree?
Duolingo, man. Duolingo. Shout out to Duolingo.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, he babbling all right. You babbling all right.
Hey, gotta do what I gotta do.
I guess two free advertisements. One for Babbel, one for his 1800.
If I want to give it a Hall of Famer number, this is Rod Woodson Day, number 26, from Dorian's favorite team, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Ooh, Shitsburg.
Anyway, again, thank you all for joining us.
I thought it was the Cleveland Browns now.
Remember, he loved the Browns too.
I don't like the Browns.
That's right, America.
Nor do I like the Ravens, because they all man. Look,
stop hating.
But he like that jersey.
Stop hating, man.
The jersey just dope. I don't like Cleveland.
Hey man, let me finish my intro, man.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
we want to thank y'all for joining us. As always, push the buttons. I forgot the buttons. The like button, the subscribe button, the notification button, all those buttons. Push them all so you can get notified when we bring y'all this wonderful content that we bring you each and every week. And we just gonna get right into it this week. So, like we do each and every week, Dorian. Y'all hear that? I actually said Dorian. Wow.
No, you didn't.
Dorian?
You're lying.
Give us our recap from last week. Man.
You ain't ever met Martin Luther King. All right, so last week we of course because we were recording while it was on. So got to give again another shout out and congratulations to the Las Vegas Aces on their back-to-back WNBA championships. We talked about our dislike for the Pat McAfee show for whatever reasons we didn't like it. Again, I just don't like the show. But anyway, we talked about Michael.
On the Pat McAfee, I actually found out that a lot of people don't like Pat McAfee.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
especially on the NCAA College Game Day. They really don't like him on College Game Day. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna let you get back to that in a second. Pat McAfee said that if the fans continue to vote that they don't like him, that he's not gonna re-sign his contract.
You know, I read that too. We might have to pick back up and say something about that. But anyway, all right. So we talked about athletes and their podcast again. We talked about Micah Parsons on his podcast, which is interesting because it came up again. And he gave. Did you hear him talk about how the Eagles were the best team in the league and all this kind of stuff? So I find it interesting. That's what I said. Walking this thin line when you're doing this during the season. But anyway, we talked about Colorado's epic collapse. We talked about the problems. We talked about Hall of Famer Eddie George, college football famer Eddie George, and down at Tennessee State, and basically his complaints and problems with HBCU football. We talked about NFL injuries, and we're going to get into the injury report again. We talked about the Broncos and who's more to blame, Sean Payton or Russ. We talked about the start of the NBA season briefly, but we're going to talk more about the start of the NBA season today. We talked about the James Harden saga, that we're going to get into some more stuff about James Harden again today. We talked about the league championship series. So today we're going to get a chance to talk about the World Series with the Diamondbacks and the Rangers now playing in the World Series. And last but not least, we talked about the last thing that we talked about was the NFL power rankings. We talked about the top 5 NFL teams, and that was where we ended.
So we did a lot of last week. Got a lot to say, especially Dante. And don't forget about Dante and his gourd. You missed that recap.
Yeah, let's forget about Dante and his gourd. Let's forget about
that. So anyway, so that's what we talked about last week. This week, we want to start off our show talking about a little baseball.
Don't let the White House see the show.
Talk a little bit more about baseball. So, as Dorian was saying last week, they were in the middle of playing the conference championship series. Now the World Series.
You mean the league championship series?
League championship, man. The playoffs. Spit it out.
Whatever, man. The playoffs. Let's see who go to the World Series. Now we in the World Series. And the 2 teams that won, the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Texas Rangers. So those are our 2 combatants in the World Series. But the question is, you got Arizona, even though it's in Phoenix, it's still considered not a big baseball town, even though they've had the Diamondbacks for 30 years now.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you have the Texas Rangers, who've never done anything. And those are yeah. But those are our 2 World Series combatants.
That's what World Series. Yeah.
They ain't won none yet. But those are our 2 World Series combatants. You have the Dallas market and you have the Phoenix market. So when you look at actual television markets, those markets are top 10. But the question is, they may have the top 10 television market, but what are they as far as baseball is concerned? So Dante, you are a baseball expert. Is this series between the Diamondbacks and the Rangers, is that considered a good series, or is it considered something that's bad for baseball right now?
I'm gonna put it in a couple different ways. I see you, bro. So, like I said last week, nationally, nobody was paying attention to the Diamondbacks. They wanted East Coast, West Coast. Of course, the Dodgers weren't in it. The Phillies made it, survived, but then they got knocked out. That was the last of the East Coast teams, the East Coast market. Now you got Texas and the D-backs in here, the Southwest market. None of America really is going to watch this World Series. However, for us in Arizona, it's great. Even though nationally nobody's watching, we're winning because this is also the snowbird season. So everybody from around so it's just great for us, of course, and then of course even for Texas. But the Southwest was won, so I like this in terms of you don't have the East Coast, the West Coast markets getting all this media glory and all this other stuff. I like the fact that you got 2 baseball B as far as the ratings. Nobody, unless you're a true baseball fan like me, the ratings are going to be horrible. I'm saying right there. Trust me. The ratings for this World Series will be horrible. But other than that, unless you're a true baseball fan, I'm going to like it. I'm going to watch it. But we're going to be watching football and basketball. And now hockey's back in. And all.
Okay. Durin, what say you?
Okay, so I look at this in a couple of ways. All right, so it's weird to say that. Speaking, what Dante was saying about media markets, I think it's really weird to say that nobody's going to watch this World Series. And again, I'm not disagreeing with Dante. All right, I'm just talking about the how his statement is weird because Dallas and Phoenix are number 5 and number 11 respectively in U.S. media markets. Mm-hmm. So the fact that nobody is interested in watching the Diamondbacks play Dallas, even though you got the two biggest media market, two of the biggest media markets in the country, and people are saying nobody's going to watch it. That's interesting. What does that say? Does that say something about the marketing of Major League Baseball? If the whole idea is about growing the game, right? Because that's all that they talk about. We want to expand the game. Well, why not, and you want to take it overseas, why not expand it in your own country? If you can sit up here and complain about nobody watching the World Series when it's in 2 of your biggest media markets in the country, that says something about the promotion and marketing of baseball to me.
So
right. So that's the thing. And then I think what it also shows, as we've talked about on many occasions, and I know Dante, being around him as long as I've been around Dante, he's been clamoring about this forever. It just goes to show you how corporate interests are really the ones that are running that are running all of this and that are more important. Just think about the fact that how difficult is it for us as regular people that are true baseball fans to get a ticket to the World Series, or to get a ticket to a Super Bowl, or to get a ticket to an NBA Finals, or that kind of thing. So these corporate interests, I think, are big too. If it only matters if the number 1 media market in New York and the number 2 media market in LA, if it only matters if the 2 of them are the ones that are playing for the championship, then it's almost like, well, what's the point, right? So that's what I think.
So the problem that I see with baseball is that
I want to make
unlike football, I missed that. Anyway, the problem that I see with baseball, unlike football and unlike basketball, is that baseball is somewhat of a regional sport. In that if there's like in St. Louis, we're all from St. Louis, one of the biggest baseball craze areas in the country. But you'll get 3 million people in the St. Louis area going to a St. Louis Cardinal game each and every year. I don't care what the records are, whether they have a good team, bad team. You have 3 million people to go to the stadium and watch the Cardinals play baseball. But once you get outside of the St. Louis area, you're not going to have a lot of people that are paying attention to the St. Louis Cardinals. Or actually, let me go back. Cardinals is probably a bad example because there are a lot of folks all over the country that watch the Cardinals. Let's go with like the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Yeah, that's the horrible example.
Yeah, but the Arizona Diamondbacks,
there you go.
They have within the Phoenix area, those people are going to watch the Diamondbacks, but you're not going to come to Iowa, Davenport, Iowa. Davenport, Iowa is not going to watch Arizona Diamondbacks game. They're not going to care about Arizona Diamondback games, right? So baseball, that's the problem that they have another thing you said, D, the marketing thing. They have a horrible marketing program. They don't even, like basketball has they have all the different camps for the young people just to play basketball, to get you involved in the game. They have the same thing with football with was it Play 50 or whatever they call it thing.
Yeah, Play 60.
Football does it. Play 60. Baseball doesn't do that. You have Little League Baseball, which is the participation is way down in Little League Baseball in this country. You have the high school teams and all that stuff. The participation again is way down. The teams are going international to find their players. So the athletes here in the States are looking at, man, they'll go to soccer. They're going to soccer more now than they are baseball. So and that's the issue. Baseball, it's a
and the right is what we have on the screen right there.
It's
that's part of the problem.
There you go.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, my brother.
No. That's you're absolutely right. You are absolutely right.
Brother,
the majority
that part, like you said, and that's part of the problem for baseball. It's a Southwest World Series.
And what you said right there, the majority of the big name players don't even speak English. And that's a problem when all your teams are in the US, right?
Language barrier.
So it makes it difficult for the fans.
People coming to the games, the fans.
They're going international, bringing people in. And nobody knows these guys. Nobody can relate to these guys. They look like us, but nobody knows these guys. The Diamondbacks, because they have recognizable stars. This is horrible for baseball, and it's the language barrier. And we'll talk about this later because I have a lot of history on what happened to baseball from the former commissioner and how they basically just outsourced baseball to, like you said, Rod, other international countries, in particular islands. You know, this all goes back to the Colin Kaepernick thing, but we'll bring this up. This is another topic, but this World Series just brought that all about. Because of the language barrier, nobody's watching this, nobody cares, and it's, out here. I shouldn't say nobody cares. There'll be, you know what they should check? Check the ratings for the Hispanic market, though, on viewership for this World Series compared to nationally.
Yeah.
Just viewership compared to the United States viewership for the World Series. And you're going to see what I'm talking about. That's the better analogy I can use to see what's really going on and who's going to be watching this World Series. So when I say nobody will be watching, that's wrong. There will be more people from Hispanic persuasion.
All right, bro.
That's the problem.
Your thing is going in and out
For the MLB this year with the World Series.
And I think the thing
Language
is too is
barrier.
Yeah, and the thing is, and I want to clarify this. We're not at all saying, they coming and taking our jobs or whatever as far as that's concerned or anything of that nature, or that we have a problem with international players or we have a problem with
they're taking our job
players or whatever.
Oh, they are.
That's not the point that we're making. The point that we're making is, I think when it all boils down is that Major League Baseball is not developing players within the United States. They're not developing homegrown ball players. I remember, what happened to the RBI program.
They outsourced,
to get baseball into the inner cities, to get, that kind of thing. They're not marketing
overseas
U.S. players.
It's overseas.
Right. It becomes cheaper. It becomes cheaper for them in many ways to go overseas and find ball players and to bring them here than it does to develop their own homegrown ball players. And that's what we're talking about. I want to see the best players play. I don't care where you're from. But I think it becomes an issue. It just, again, like I said, it just goes to show the issue of and again goes back to my earlier point about marketing and promotion in the United States. And that's and again, I think it's important to note that this is a lately thing. Like when we were growing up, we all played Roddy didn't play baseball, but we played baseball.
Ask Bo why I don't play baseball, but go ahead.
We don't. But still, we grew up playing baseball. It was a game that we grew up wanting to play. If we could have had, we played court ball. That was basically baseball.
And we played that.
So we all grew up with a love for baseball. But now nobody has it. There's nothing that you see that makes baseball appealing anymore. And I think that's why they're trying to do the rules changes and all that kind of stuff too. But yeah, they definitely don't market and promote baseball in the United States anymore. Yeah,
in the U.S. The thing about baseball,
let's talk about this more in detail. Like I said, I got a long-lasting history on what's going on with baseball.
Real quick, the thing about baseball for U.S. athletes is that when you look at it, it's somewhat of a boring game. It's not a lot of action. The chicks did the long ball.
Says who?
That was the slogan way back when. At that time, that was when baseball was most popular.
Yeah.
But now they're not. You don't have as many home runs being hit as you did, back in those days for whatever reason. We ain't gonna go into that. But because of that, the game is not as appealing as say basketball.
Too much time on baseball. It's at the end of the season now. We know.
But anyway,
two different sports, lesser rosters. Like I said, we're gonna dwell on baseball, the World Series. But this will be a great discussion that we can really expand on, especially how, as we're talking about here, the declining in recognizable players that are homegrown right here from the United States. And that's what's happening with baseball. Is being outsourced all the way down to Little League. It's being outsourced to other countries. But moving back to the things we like, it's football season, right?
That it is. It's definitely football season. So there's a couple of things going on in the NFL right now that
let me refresh my ice studies.
Need to be discussed. And the first one we need to discuss is this situation that's going on and in Dean's favorite football city, and that's Cleveland. And that's with Deshaun Watson, the Cleveland quarterback. Cleveland has a mess on their hands right now. Earlier today, they were talking about Deshaun actually going on injury reserve, which if he does, he's going to miss at least 4 games minimum. And Cleveland, Dorian knows, has one of the best defenses in the league. They are poised to make a run in the playoffs if they can get competent quarterback play, which so far this year they really haven't gotten great quarterback play. The backup quarterback has been doing okay the last couple of weeks, but you can't expect that each and every week.
He ain't the backup. Number 3.
And you really can't expect that you really can't expect that when you're paying Deshaun Watson $230 million over 5 years to be your quarterback. So, fellas, what is going on in Cleveland?
I'm gonna refresh my drink. Give me some ice where y'all go ahead.
He got faking. I would hate to say that anybody is faking an injury. I never want to say that. I would never want to say that about anybody. I would never want to say anybody's faking an injury. But what I will say is that Cleveland has become a victim of the contract that they gave Deshaun Watson. They have no choice but to pay him.
None whatsoever.
And they have no choice but to pay him. And so whether he's faking it or not, he has all the leverage. If he sits there and he does nothing, he gets paid. If he plays and does nothing, he gets paid. If he plays and plays great and they go to the playoffs, he gets paid. Bottom line, he gets paid. So again, I hate to say that anybody's faking anything. I don't want to say, what we say is Deshaun Watson the new Jamarcus Russell, right? I don't want to say that, all right, because again, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. However,
No.
Cleveland put themselves in this trick bag.
Mm-hmm.
They put themselves in this trick bag, and it is completely their fault.
So, again, the situation. Let's go back. 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 21. You had Deshaun Watson going through one of the craziest litigation things that I've seen in a long time, where he had, I don't know what, 50 different women saying that
he
did some inappropriate things during massage sessions. And with that,
we ain't gonna talk about that. That's all behind
the Houston Texans decided to let him go out and seek a trade.
That's why he need Calgon.
They didn't want him to be their quarterback anymore. Okay. So at that time, when it was the report was he was about to agree to be traded to the Carolina Panthers. They had the deal done. They were going to announce it the very next day. Well, that night, the owner of the Cleveland Browns contacted I'm about to call him Jamarcus Russell. Deshaun Watson contacted them directly, him and his representative directly, and said, "Hey, listen, whatever that contract is that they're giving you in Carolina, we gonna beat it. And matter of fact, we gonna beat it, and we gonna guarantee the whole thing." So Deshaun Watson, who had already said that he had X'd out Cleveland as his option, said, "Wait a minute, you gonna guarantee my whole salary? Guess what? I'm gonna be a Brown." So it's because of that decision that the owner made. It wasn't the GM, it wasn't the coach, wasn't the trainer, it wasn't anybody in other below the owner that said, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and get this man his contract." Because until that time, the only quarterback matter of fact, the only player to get a fully guaranteed contract was Kirk Cousins.
Right, and it sure wasn't for $262 million.
And it wasn't for no $230 million. But so the owner is the one that put them in this position. But the thing is, he owns the team. So only thing the GM and everybody else can do is say, "Okay, well, this is the direction that we're gonna go." But because of that decision, because they decided to do that, they are hit. There is absolutely nothing they can do. The matter of fact, they're gonna have to renegotiate his contract at the end of this year to give him even more money just so they can sign their players for next year because they're capped out. And the only thing you can do is whoever has the highest salary, renegotiate that salary and attempt to bring down the cap hit. And the only way you can bring down the cap hit is give them more money.
Over a longer period of time. So they're gonna put themselves in even a worse situation. But they have no choice because they can't get rid of them. They cannot get rid of them. It's very difficult to trade. What is that? Almost like $48 million or whatever. Yeah, a year. Yeah,
a year contract to anybody. Because again, if you're trading a $48 million contract, his is not. There's no incentives. It's not prorated over X amount of years. This is what I get each and every year. So the team that they attempt to trade him to has to fit his salary, complete salary, into their salary cap situation. And there's not a team in the NFL that can do that right now. Nobody. Because if you do, you got to get rid of half your team just to bring him over. So they're hit. The only thing I can hope for is that Deshaun Watson decides, "Hey, listen, I actually want to play football." Because right now, he has all of the power. He's the one deciding when he'll go back out on the field and play. He's the one that's deciding if he's going to go on the injury reserve or not, which was crazy. When I heard that this morning. The coach did what?
So the injury report thing. So I want to go back real quick so we can move on from the Sean. who was basically, like we're saying, this is new Jamarcus Russell, what Dorian said about was he faking. So I actually had the video, but couldn't find a video for some reason. It's like it's been snatched mysteriously. So on that hit where Deshaun Watson, allegedly, when you saw him sitting up holding his arm, when he got pushed by the lineman and fell to the ground, he actually fell down normally, but he looked to his left to see where he threw the ball. After he saw it was intercepted, then he went, oh, and he laid there like he was hurt. But then when they got him up, they thought it was a concussion. His head was all right. He grabbed his arm. There was nothing wrong with his arm. So the coach had to go out and say, yeah, we actually pulled him from the game because we don't want to test anything, which goes back to what Rodney's saying. Deshaun Watson's calling the shots whether or not he wants to play or not because they can't do anything about it. And that's why PJ Walker's out there. So he's the Jamarcus Russell of the NFL. He's stealing money. And the Cleveland Browns owner, as Rodney said, is to blame for that. So Cleveland, do not fire any of your coaches. It wasn't any of their faults. They had everybody else out there. And what do you know? Like they're saying, PJ Walker, the third string quarterback, has you 4-2. Beat my 49ers. Idiot ass kicker, but that's another story. So again, so to sum that up, so we can move on to some other football news. That's Cleveland's fault. You got what you paid for. Oh, and by the way, that move gets a rated R for retarded, Cleveland.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Who else we got in football, Rob?
Keeping on the injury front. Now, this one cost me personally. And I'm hot about this one. And I need some heads to roll. I need some folks to get fined, suspended, fired. I don't care what it is. But something needs to happen. The Atlanta Falcons, who has one of the best rookies this year, did not play Bijan Robinson. Not only did they not play him, they didn't even let anybody know that the man was hurt. So here I am.
He played. He got 3 yards.
Oh, he did get 3 yards?
Yeah, he played. He got 3 yards. He played like 2 plays or 3 plays or something like that.
Where he playing?
And got 3 yards, and then they pulled him from the game.
He got me 0 points. Yeah. 0 points. And matter of fact, I lost this thing because I got 0 points from my running backs. So I need some heads to roll because allegedly there was an injury that he had that did not get reported.
It was an illness. I
don't care. Illness, injury, whatever. You just got to report it, man. Because it's money on the line with this stuff. Ain't that right, Dante? It's money on the line. And I can't be having my running back get 0 points.
What is Cleveland doing? So what is Deshaun Watson and Cleveland doing here?
Man, nobody
is Deshaun going to play? Is he not going to play? Same thing they doing in Cleveland.
Watson, he hadn't done well the whole season. You know, go back. His whole thing is he just don't want to play, man. He's playing bad.
Watson, he the James Harden of the NFL.
They didn't give him the shot.
Wow, did you just say that, Doran?
And I think the Atlanta Falcons
for the NFL. Oh wow!
I think Atlanta Falcons are trying to make sure. I think the Atlanta Falcons are trying to make sure Bijan Robinson doesn't hit any of his escalators.
So, all right, on a serious note, this is the question though. The NFL injury report. Now, you know, they have their rules in place. You know, you're supposed to report all the injuries as they go along. And the reason for that, everybody knows, is for the gamblers, right? So they can know how these spreads should go, so that these people can make money. So, hey, Bree. So anyway, so that's what the NFL injury report is for. So my question is, should there be let me phrase it this way. Because of the NFL's partnerships now with all these different sites and casinos and so on and so forth, should there be better reporting of these injuries because of that? Don't everybody talk at the same time. Everybody just looking. Should there be more penalties when you don't report?
It's not about reporting. Reporters can only report what the teams are providing. Oversight, yes, that's what it comes down to. Because we all in fantasy league.
Okay.
We be waiting. These guys are game time decisions. Whether it's fantasy league, where you're betting on FanDuel or anything else, that's the better aspect of the question to see. Say the question, Rod. That's what's going on. So this injury report and everything, the NFL knows. It's collusion. That's the word you're trying to dodge around. There's collusion going on.
So again, you're just using me as an example. Because they didn't let anybody know that this man was sick, that he may or may not play or whatever. I put in a player and received 0 points from this player, right? Now with the FanDuel and DraftKings and all that stuff, where you can draft players each and every day, where they're betting even bigger dollar amounts, that can make or break whether somebody wins that week or loses that week, because you didn't report this information that should be out there, and it should be out there. It's not like you don't know the rules, but what they're trying to do is trying to get a competitive advantage. So I don't remember who Atlanta played this past week. Who did they play?
Professor.
Oh man, who did Atlanta play?
I forgot who they played, but whoever they played, the fact that they didn't report that Bijan, who is their best offensive weapon and only offensive weapon,
lost, right?
No, the fact that they didn't report this or whatever, they're trying to get an advantage on the other team, so they still have to prepare for them. But you caution folks, it could be the difference between somebody winning, and y'all
fuss at me all the time. I would allow in the league to go pick up another player when the NFL does this.
No, your rules are stupid, man.
My rules in like the fantasy league.
Your rules are stupid. I should be able to pick up a kicker on Sunday when I don't have a kicker on my team.
Talking about.
But anyway,
game time kickoff. Guys that are like Bijan, who played, he played a couple series and got his little 3 points, and then they took him out. So that's your fault, Rodney.
You 3 points. You got no points.
So don't sit here and cry about your loss. But that's part of the problem with the NFL.
I'm hot, man. I'm hot.
Important. And I ain't changed nothing. I know you are.
Well, let me say that I, for one,
it affects everyone.
I for one, have a big issue with the injury report being tied to gambling. Now, the reason I have a big issue with it is because I think that it affects the integrity of the game, right? In the sense that you are altering the rules of your game to satisfy an outside interest, right? Now, my thing about this too is, again, as a historian, I think about this historically.
Yep.
Well, y'all been doing the injury report long before gambling was legal. It's been an NFL injury report long before gambling was legal anywhere outside of Las Vegas.
And now it's
So who have you been doing the injury report for then for the last 50, 60 years?
Bruh.
So again, I'm asking a retaurical question. I think it's hypocrisy.
They're doing it
on the NFL's part.
It's called collusion.
Hypocrisy on the NFL's part to try to do all these things
to
regulate gambling.
Not the
yet
hypocrisy.
on the other hand, they accommodate and enable gambling. So that's my take. And as Forrest Gump said, and that's all I have to say. Who was the
overseer? Like I started this conversation out with oversight. Yep.
So
that's what I said. These are their partners.
Let me ask this question. Let me ask this question. Since you're talking about who's the overseer, should there be a third party overseer of the NFL's? Because it is it's the injury report, as D just said, is strictly for the gambling public. Even before gambling was quote unquote legal, they still had
and what
point spread.
What organization? What department oversees gambling?
You said what department oversees gambling?
Already a department that does that.
Mm-hmm. But they're not the ones that do the
overseas gambling
report.
There's federal agencies.
So that's more of the question. Should there be a third party?
But they should be monitoring what everybody is seeing. Yes. But the third party, the NFL is going to bring in the third party. They're going to bring in, hey, Roddy, I need you to bring in one of your plumber friends. It's the same thing. You can't police yourself.
No, but what they can do is
legal now.
What they can do is it's hundreds of people in Vegas who do this every day for these different sports books. All they need to do is just partner with someone like that to they're the ones that coordinate, that contact the teams to get their injury reports, and they're the ones that put it out. So it's I don't know if that's gonna fix the situation, that's gonna solve the problem. I don't know if that's gonna fix the situation, solve the problem, but
I'll give you the easiest solution to that.
What's that?
Solution to that. It's very simple. All the NFL has to do is mandate that the injury reports are submitted at least 2 hours before the game. Don't wait till it's a game time decision right before kickoff, which, like our fantasy, we can't change our player. That's what the problem is. Nobody's thinking about that. You know who's coming in sick, maybe because you ain't feeling right. You better check. That's what you have all these coaches for. So at least an hour and a half to 2 hours, because Vegas does it all the time. They pull games off the betting line based on certain information they get in advance. And so you have 5 minutes before kickoff in fantasy to change your players before kickoff? That's what needs to happen. It's an easy fix. You turn in the injury report at least an hour and a half before all games in all sports. Problem solved.
So here's the thing. It says teams must notify the league, their opponent, local and national media, and the league's broadcast partners of the status of their injured players by 4 p.m. Eastern the day before their next scheduled game. So they're actually supposed to do it the day before. And
it's not that he didn't notify the teams. He just didn't put.
That's why they have the game time decision. Report. That's why they have the game time decision.
Yeah, he didn't put him on the report at all. Which is
that's they didn't sign Bijan Robinson is out.
That's the part that they're
investigating. That's where it ties
into
into all this. How these NFL teams are designating players. He wasn't out, he played, but then after a couple series, now for next week, he's out or whatever. That's like Deshaun Watson. Is he going to be on IR next week? Is he on the roster? You see what I'm saying? But they already said they're going to start PJ Walker next week. So anybody had Deshaun Watson, you might as well cut him because you can't stash him on your IR because he's not hurt. That's the biggest scam in the sport when it comes down to this. Cheat the 24-hour advance from the previous day thing. Oh, yeah, this guy's going to play like Bijan Robinson. They knew already.
Yeah, well.
And then don't forget the escalators from teams. They don't want cookies exceeding rookie escalators, we have to give him an extra $1 million because they didn't expect this rookie to get 1,000 yards in his rookie season, which means Bijan could probably get $1 million for getting 1,000 yards. Look that up, Rodney. Maybe that's why they didn't start him. That's what I'm saying. It's all about escalators. Been a commissioner in fantasy league a long time, and I look at contracts, what their escalators are. That might be the solution. But wait, let's move on to some other stuff besides.
We know that
versus during called conspiracy theory.
We know that they've been taking players out to keep them from getting so many catches and all this kind of stuff. They've been doing that for years. So
doing it for years.
Yeah. All right.
Well, let's get to
the money. So look up Bijan's contract and look what his escalators are. Everybody else.
We're gonna stay in the football.
We're
gonna go
football.
We're gonna go move over to a little college football. We're gonna talk about some NCAA ballers.
We're gonna step it down a little bit.
Let's step it down. So this week, you know what? Go ahead, Dante. I'm just gonna let you roll with it.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy. Go ahead, Rodney. Do your thing, my guy. I like how you present it. Bring it on, But that's my guy. Wait, Rodney said he couldn't see the stats, so he puts up the other highlight. No, real quick though.
That's what I said. You go ahead. I don't see nothing.
Loving what Shedeur is doing in Colorado. We talk about the NIL. We've been talking about the NIL all year and what it's done for all college sports across the board. But the money we were talking about, Miss Reese down at LSU and the money she was making, guys, $4.8 million, guys, for Neil. His endorsements and everything are ridiculous. And you see there, Tua makes $1 million playing for Miami. They got the best offense in the NFL. And Tua only getting $1 million. Bryce Young only getting $750,000. And he looks like his offensive line. I'll just keep it safe for Bryce. So you're basically seeing Shedeur being in an offense like Bryce Young. Yeah, you're going to get beat up. Hey, I got paid in college, so I can take this beating for what is Bryce making? $750,000. That ain't nothing for him. You see what I'm saying? And then Patrick Mahomes, our greatest quarterback ever. You can look this up in history. I was the first and the only guy to draft Patrick Mahomes when he came into the NFL and fantasy league. He was less than 1%. I was the only guy drafted. I have plenty of witnesses. He makes more than Patrick Mahomes this season. In college. Balling. But guys, who else is going to be balling? Rodney, up in Detroit. The son of a Hall of Famer. Gus Jones just gave him this nickname. Marvin Jones.
Two sons of Hall of Famer.
Jr. Maserati Marv. Did y'all see that game last week, Ohio State, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Two sons.
Oh, yeah, he does his thing.
Did y'all see that game last week, guys?
Yeah.
I do not like Ohio State. Doria knows that. Rodney, I can't stand Ohio State or Notre Dame or Duke. Let's go. I can't stand Ohio State. But goddamn, this boy right here, this is the best wide receiver in the country. He's better than some of our wide receiver twos we have on our fantasy teams right now, guys. So you best believe if I don't win the series, if I don't win our fantasy league, and I start losing or something, I might tank. So I can make sure I draft Maserati Marv next year in our fantasy league. I got to have him. Y'all know how I draft. So that's what we were talking. I want to talk about these two guys in particular because it perfectly segues to what's going on out here in college football this week because there ain't really no big games. And Rodney, what we got going on in the Pac-10 this week? It's Pac-12.
Let me ask this question. Pac-12. When you talk about NCAA ballers, let me ask a question. Because you were mentioning that they were making more than
just about to make money.
Athletes, Patrick Mahomes, so on and so forth. And hopefully this is a very quick answer. Do any of you have a problem with that? The fact that they make more than Patrick Mahomes or they make more than Bryce Young or Brock Purdy?
Nope. Not one bit. Not one bit. It's
okay.
Hell no.
Okay. Me
We've
either.
been wanting this since the boys from UCLA. The O'Bannon brothers started this. They went to court for
real
this.
quick.
So I have no problem with these college guys, these college kids getting paid.
Okay, good. Well, we can move on. Just want to know, we're in consensus.
No. Let me say this. The problem that I have, and it's going to be, how can I say this where folks don't get too pissed off? I have a problem with rich, white, Republican lawmakers trying to decide that these young Black athletes should not be making money. And that's the problem that I have. The fact that they're making it, more power to you. Make as much as you can while you can, because there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're going to actually make it into the NFL and do anything. So while you can make the money, make the money. But what I don't like is for people,
as my daughter says, more.
What I don't like is for these people that 9 times out of 10 never played a sport in their life, trying to dictate what another person can or can't make. But only in 2 sports. The issue is only in basketball and football. You can make $50 billion as a gymnast or as a tennis player, even baseball.
We'll talk about this on another topic, Rodney.
Yeah, D said it. Now I'm just ranting because I'm pissed off.
How many times have we talked about this discussion on when players can have a whole discussion on this, Rodney?
Hey, yeah, D said it just pisses me off. We will have
a whole. This is a great discussion for another time. But right now, the only thing going on in college football weekend is actually in the Pac-12.
The Pac-12 is the league that has
going on this weekend.
The best games this week. So this week in the Pac-12, you have Oregon versus Utah in Utah. I think Oregon is 8 and Utah is like 11 or something like that. Somewhere around there. Let me go to it. Oregon is 8 and Utah is 13. I'm sorry.
Top 10.
Top 15, 2 top 15 teams. And then the other game, which is a very, very important game, has a lot of huge ramifications in this game. And that's the game between Colorado and UCLA. Colorado, which is the darling team for this year, is faced with, like D said, a must-win game against UCLA.
Be bowl eligible.
If they don't win,
elimination game.
If they don't win, they're not going to make the playoffs.
It's going to be a hard road.
Not the playoffs. They're not going to have a bowl game. And
we shouldn't say they're not.
It doesn't matter what bowl game.
We shouldn't say they're not.
Well, the chances are that they're not going to, because their schedule after UCLA is horrible.
6 wins. They play in my backyard bowl game. I don't care if they play in my backyard bowl game and these 6 wins. We talked about this last week. Losing to Stanford messed them up. We talked about their schedule remaining down the line. If they lose to UCLA, their last hope may be Arizona to be. They're done. So there goes that story. The Oregon game, Utah game, that's going to decide the last Pac-12 champion. Because after this year, as we know, the Pac-12 is
Pac-2 now.
But the Colorado game, this is big. Chip Kelly, guys. UCLA, Chip Kelly offense. The Pac-2. This whole thing, this weekend, the Pac-12, this is the final chance for the Pac-12 to showcase themselves before everybody forgets about them next year. Because it's only, like you said, Washington State and whoever else is left, 2 teams in the Pac-2. What used to be 12 pussy-ass colleges. I'm glad they broke it up.
See if y'all catch this one.
Go ahead.
If Colorado loses this game, the only bowl they can end up in is the bovine natural fertilizer bowl.
It's my backyard bowl.
That's the only bowl.
They can't be bowl eligible without
the bovine
6 wins, guys.
Bowl. If y'all get what I'm saying, but I am looking forward to this this Pac-12 game. I'm always been kind of
the magic numbers.
I always felt like for the last few years.
So those are the best games this weekend in college football.
For the last few years, I've kind of been secretly rooting for Utah to make it to the playoff. And it's like they always have a good team, they always have a strong team, but they always end up having a hiccup somewhere along the way. That keeps them from winning or whatever and getting into the playoffs. So I'm always kind of rooting for Utah to kind of get into the playoffs. So I'm really looking forward to this Utah-Oregon game. And it's in Utah too. Had it been in Oregon, I might have thought differently, but with it being in Utah, I think it's going to be.
I'm rooting for either one of those teams.
I don't really care about Oregon. I kind of like Utah. I used to like Oregon.
I would love for either team to win and represent and even make the playoffs, whether it be Oregon or Utah. I would still just love for the last Pac-12 team to make the playoffs, to blow up what's going to be a rigged SEC heavy, at least 2 teams kind of playoff, which is they're leading to. That's why they're already feeding our heads and consciousness. Oh, a one-loss team in the playoffs. That one loss is Alabama, but they're talking about it in the SEC, guys, by the way. So let's not trying to dodge around it. That's why I'm rooting for it too. Whoever this Oregon game is huge. This is the Pac-12 showcase this weekend. It would be great for whoever comes out wins that game, Oregon or Washington or Utah, to win, go undefeated, to throw a monkey wrench into the rigged playoff system. Colorado, that's just the bowl game. Like I said, they can play in your backyard in the Detroit Motor City Bowl, Dorian.
Like I said, the bovine natural fertilizer.
They can play in the Collinsville Bowl. They can play at East Side Field, Fluids. Who cares? That's a championship for Colorado with 6 wins, which I don't think they're going to get. So that's what that all boils down to me as far as the college football. But Pac-12, soon to be Pac-2, soon to be dissolved, is gone.
So see, I'm like you, D. I kind of like Utah, not the state, because the state is just crazy, folks. But I like Utah College, and I want to.
What? Oh.
I'm looking for chaos in the.
What you call the people
in the bowl championship series?
Yeah, I'm looking for. Say what?
What did you call the people in the state of Utah, Rodney?
I didn't call them nothing. I said I'm not a fan of the state.
Why?
Because the people. What? I ain't talking about the people. I'm talking about the state itself.
Okay.
So anyway, to my point.
What's wrong with the state?
I'm looking for chaos, and I want to see Utah be Oregon.
Pull it over Utah.
No, never been to Utah. It's just different. But anyway, let me finish, man.
It's a beautiful state. I can't make it different. You're right. I can't live there. They have watered down liquor.
I don't care about the state, man. What I'm saying is, I want to see some chaos in the championship series. And it would be interesting.
I could tell you, Ben Simmons would be a star in Utah. I was telling y'all that all year.
No more Ben Simmons.
No bunny heaven.
Man, you made me forget my whole little point talking about some Utah. But yeah, the Pac-10, the Pac-12, the Pac-2, whatever they are right now.
Talking about Oregon, Utah.
It would be cool if at least one of the teams made the series. Washington right now looks to be their best chance to make it to the playoffs. But I don't agree with you with 2 SEC teams being in the last 4 in the playoff series, because I don't see Alabama well, first off, Alabama's not going to beat Georgia. They're going to have two. They're going to have 2 losses, not just one. And that's if they actually make it into the SEC championship game.
SEC championship.
But what if Georgia throws the game? But what if Georgia throws the game?
Then
what if Georgia? Well, they only lost in the SEC championship game. Now you have 2 one-loss SEC teams because that's how it's going to go down.
But I think they would take. I think the committee would take. I think the committee would take a 1-loss Big Ten team over having 2 SEC teams in there, because this year the SEC is not as good as it has been of late.
Exactly.
Georgia's still Georgia.
So for all the rest of the conferences,
Georgia.
Don't lose. You better go undefeated if you want to get in the playoffs, because 2 SEC teams are waiting to take your spots. So for the Pac-12,
all right. Since you want to go that way,
the Big Ten, we know somebody's going to get in there from there. The ACC,
since you want to go that way, I see
Clemson.
You
Miami,
got
lose,
Georgia.
because if any of those conferences lose a game, you will have 2 SEC teams in the playoffs. Don't
right
lose.
now you'd have you got Georgia at 7-0. You got Michigan and Ohio State. Either one of those 2 teams. You got an undefeated ACC team in Florida State, and you got an undefeated Big 12 team in Oklahoma. And you got an undefeated Pac-12 team in Washington. So I don't see a 1 loss, whether it be Georgia or Alabama.
Lose.
Neither one of them can. If the other 5 teams go undefeated, well, actually only 4 can go undefeated, because Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah, you got to play each other.
One of them going to have
only going 4.
If those 4 teams go undefeated,
when do they play each other? When does Michigan?
They're not going to take a 1-loss Georgia or a 1-loss Alabama.
Michigan always play Ohio State the last game of the season.
Hold on.
Yeah, the Saturday after.
That goes back to my point, Rodney. You must stay undefeated in one of the Power 5 conferences. Notre Dame's already been eliminated. You must stay undefeated in the Power 5. We just talked about Oregon.
Alabama has been eliminated.
To dissolve. So let's go to Michigan and Ohio State. So one of them has to go undefeated. They're going to be guaranteed a spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
The SEC champ is going to be guaranteed a spot regardless of who the champ is. That's spots,
not
right?
Not this year. Not this year.
The ACC is up for grabs. Florida State might lose. It's not Florida State.
But you're talking about what might happen if they all go undefeated.
Who are they going to play in the ACC championship? It's not a might. I'm saying
no. What I'm saying is,
if Florida State remains undefeated, okay, then give them the ACC. There's 3 spots.
No, hold on, wait a minute.
Okay, let's say Florida State goes undefeated, they win the ACC. There's 3 spots.
So what I'm saying is, if Georgia goes undefeated, they're in the playoffs. If Georgia loses to Alabama, the SEC will not have a representative if the other teams go ahead and win out. So that's the whole thing. Like you just said, in order to be in this playoff, you're gonna have to be undefeated. If you got 5 teams that are undefeated, they're not gonna take a 1-loss Georgia and a 1-loss Alabama.
That's what I'm saying. You must win.
But what I'm saying. So if Alabama
it depends on how many of those teams remain undefeated.
If Alabama,
even in the Pac-12, and we've seen it, you just said it, like Oregon. If Alabama beats Georgia, when it comes down to it, again, let's go back to it. There's only 4 spots, and there's 5 big conferences. Notre Dame's already pretty much been eliminated. So let's just put the SEC aside and look at the 3 other spots. Whoever goes undefeated in the Big Ten, there's another spot. Ohio State or whoever, right? Assume it's going to be Ohio State. They have a slot. Let's go to the Pac-12.
You got Washington.
Let's go to the Pac-12. They potentially have a slot. They must go. The Pac-12 already, they always screw up themselves from getting into those big games and find some way to lose. So let's just hope a Pac-12 team goes. If
they go undefeated,
so that's two spots. The Big Ten, the Pac-12 is solidified. Now the ACC, that's two. Now the ACC is Florida State. Can they go undefeated? That's three spots. The fourth spot is going to be interesting. Is the Georgia-Alabama game.
You forgetting about it?
One of them's going to Alabama wins. Georgia's going to have a loss. So which one of those? One loss. And hold on, Dory. Hold on. I know where you're going. We haven't even said anything about the Big 12. We haven't even mentioned the Big 12. Hold on, Dory. Hold on. We haven't even mentioned the Big 12. You see what I'm doing? You see what I'm saying? So you potentially can have all the five. That's what it comes down to.
That's been my point.
So if all the qualified conferences have a team that goes undefeated,
that's what he said. That's what he's been saying the whole time. That's what he's been saying the whole time.
For that question, what you just said, if you got five undefeated
we're talking
teams,
about the SEC with one loss.
If you got five, you're not gonna have. That's what I'm saying. If you got five undefeated teams, right? The one that's gonna be on the outside looking in is probably gonna be Oklahoma, right? But if you got four undefeated teams, and Georgia loses to Alabama. SEC is not going to see a spot.
We're going back to my point with a one loss team. And that's where we got three more games to see. Oregon and Washington are always subject to lose a game. Let's say Washington beats Oregon. Washington already has a loss, right?
Washington already beat Oregon.
Doesn't Washington have a loss, or are they still undefeated?
No, Washington undefeated. That's what he's saying.
Washington already beat Oregon.
They already beat Oregon.
They beat Oregon. Oh, matter of fact, they beat Oregon.
Oregon lost to Washington last week.
So the game
Oregon lost to Washington last week.
Be looking at, does Washington play Utah? So the Pac-12 championship is going to decide
not to the Pac-12 championship.
So Washington has to beat Utah in the Pac-12. Yeah, they got it. So, and I don't think a Pac-12 team will go undefeated. That kind of goes back to eliminating some of the teams. I don't think a Pac-12 team will go undefeated, which is going to open back up the door for the Big 12.
So Washington, here's Washington. Washington has Stanford this week.
I know. So when you get a one-loss team,
so Washington's schedule is actually pretty hard. They got Stanford this week, which is Stanford is 2-5, but then you got USC, you got Utah, and Oregon State. All three of them are ranked. The next 3 weeks after that, and then you got Washington State, which is a rivalry game at the end of the year. So
they play Utah before they would actually play them in the Pac-12 championship.
Correct.
Okay.
So you got Stanford. Matter of fact, so here's the thing, D. Well, no, because they got to play USC. The go back. The Pac-12. In the Pac-12. Yeah, in the Pac-12, you have
spending too much time on the college football on predicting. You better win out.
No, let's finish this up now. Let's finish this conversation.
One losses because you have 2 SEC teams in
there. Where is Washington State? Oh, Washington State is 1-3. So yeah, they got USC, Oregon State, and Utah. Those are the three hardest games that they have.
All you got to look at is the top 10 teams, right? Top 10 teams.
So, but like I said, my thing is, I'm just looking for a little chaos, and I much prefer Alabama not to be in the playoffs
because this system is also rigged. That's why I'm glad they're expanding.
But my hatred is for Alabama, and everybody that knows me knows why I hate Alabama. But Dorian, I said his full government name, Dorian. Dorian.
Shout out to Carlos Graham.
has an issue with the folks right down the street from me, and that is the University of Michigan.
Well,
why you hate them so much?
Because I'm born in Ohio and I went to Illinois. So I hate Michigan.
Say what's on your mind.
ILL.
I hate Michigan. So
say what's on your mind.
So as I always say, as my t-shirt I got from school says, muck Michigan. All right. But Michigan is going through some turmoil. I mean, I don't care if Michigan goes 0-ever, right? But Michigan is in some turmoil right now because of sign stealing. I will say that I did not like the analogy that they tried to make to the Houston Astros when they tried to change the name of the Michigan symbol or whatever. I thought that was a bad analogy, but basically Harbaugh went the way of Bill Belichick, where you got somebody going to the games and looking at the signals, recording the signals, and then bringing them back so that they would know what the signals of the other team were. And so as Nash has put up, it was this guy here, Connor Stallions, who apparently was behind this. Now, Harbaugh, of course, is claiming that he has no knowledge of this. Now, I find that hard to believe. And this is why I find it hard to believe. I find it hard to believe not because of this idea of the lack of institutional control, as I know we're going to get into, or this idea that the head coach is supposed to know everything that is going on in his program. I don't believe that. That's not why I don't believe Harbaugh. The reason that I don't believe Harbaugh is because you can't tell me that you didn't, as an offensive quarterback, you didn't wonder, if you didn't know, that you didn't all of a sudden wonder, how is it that your defense knows every single play that the other team is running? And that your defense is playing that well.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Where you go? There you go.
There's no way.
Why do you keep going out?
Okay, here we go. I don't know what you keep doing, right?
I'm pushing buttons. I ain't doing nothing.
I didn't press nothing. I'm sitting here like this. But that's why I think that there's no way that he didn't know. You from a schematic standpoint, you can't tell me that if you're an offensive mind, particularly a quarterback, that for some reason you didn't find it strange that your defense knew all of the plays of the other team. That's why I don't believe him. So I really don't care whether or not he gets fired or not. I don't care because I don't care about Michigan. So I don't care whether he keeps his job. I don't care whether he leaves. All I care about is that Michigan loses from now and forever. That's all I care about.
I don't know what's going on there. It won't go back up. I don't know
what happened. Just slide back up, please.
There you go. Go ahead, Dante.
Oh, there you go. So, I'm like Dorian. Michigan. Institutional lack of control. How do you not know you hired a guy, an ex-military guy? This guy's from the military. That's why I kind of like, God damn. This is reconnaissance 101 like you've never seen. This guy is he's from former military in reconnaissance. So this is what he does. He goes and gets information. Harbaugh knew what he was hiring on his staff. This guy went and bought tickets for like 11 different opponents to go watch and see what they were doing. He got cameras. He doing this and that. He's military trained, which brings up another point. Why aren't you still in the military helping this country right now? We about to go to World War III, but no, you're getting paid by Jim Harbaugh to steal football signals. Jim Harbaugh should be fired. Jim, you should have took an NFL job last year. You knew exactly what the hell was going on because this is Jim Harbaugh, the Harbaugh name. He gonna get a pass, Dorian. I hate to say it, but I had to get my 2 cent rant in on what's really going on.
So here's the deal.
The guy's job in the military was intelligence.
Okay.
He was hiring.
Okay. Let Rodney get his point out.
So here's the deal.
I wanted to rant for you, Dorian, because Rodney said you were ranting. Cheat. And we're talking about all this gambling and stuff. All these folks cheat.
There is logically there is zero possibility that what occurred without Harbaugh knowing anything about that. You can't logically think about this situation and say, "Oh, I don't think he knew about this," because, like D said, you have someone that has plays from another team. They have all the plays.
Exactly.
So this plausible deniability stuff, that excuse is not going to work in this particular situation. Harbaugh knew. University, all the football program knew.
You can't be paying a guy. You can't be paying this guy's salary to go across country to not bring back video.
Exactly.
What video do you think those kids are watching? Reconnaissance missions.
Yeah. So they knew that excuse is not going to go by. But what's going to hurt him is his statement that he didn't know. That none of this stuff, he had no knowledge of any of this stuff going on. That is the thing that's gonna hurt him. It's gonna cost him to lose his job.
So
as D say, oh well. But yeah, he will not be back as coach. And here's the thing:
which NFL team is gonna be running out to go hard? So
he'll be in San Diego next year.
Finds a reason to get fired to get out of his contract at Michigan.
So, he'll be in San Diego next year, and
probably. But
again,
so
get fired, let him go. Here's the problem. Here's the thing. You have a lot of coaches coming out saying, oh well, it's no big deal, blah blah blah. And the reason for that is because everybody's doing the exact same thing. The problem is NCAA has a hard on for Jim Harbaugh, and they want him gone, all because
I can't believe
what happened this year.
NCAA never invested back everybody else.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing. They're horrible anyway. But they want him gone, so they come up with this rule that nobody enforces. You have coaches that say they do this stuff all the time. They're doing this all the time. Maybe not to the extent of Michigan was sending them to 11 different games. Why you got to scout? East Tennessee
all your
State,
opponents,
community college. Why you got to scout them? I don't know. But the thing that's going to come back to hurt him is the fact that he's, on record says he has no knowledge of this. Which, when the NCAA saw that, I know they smiled because now we got you. We caught you in this lie. We gonna get you out of here.
Well, this is the thing that seems so common sense to me. All right, so the NCAA,
but like Dorian said,
has no rules against sign stealing. They have no rules against sign stealing. However, they do have a rule that bans in-person, in-season advanced scouting of opponents. Now, my question is if you're claiming you didn't know, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go look at the receipts. Was he paying for his own tickets and hotels to these 11 different games that he was going to? Now, if I'm a coach,
they already did. The FBI already found all this
money to pay for all of that. And if you're a coach, right? Do you have that kind of time to be gone to 11 different games each week? That's a lot of money to be spending. It had to be an expense account. The only way he gets out of this is literally if dude was spending that money on his own. You can't tell me that, because I want it, bruh. Think about as many football games as I've been to.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
I'm just saying.
He wasn't, Dorian.
Town games as I have been to.
That's how he got caught, Dorian.
I've had to pay for the tickets.
The money on his own.
I've had to pay for transportation, a rental car. I've had to pay for hotel. That's a lot of money coming up out your pocket, your own pocket. If you're doing this on your own, there's no way possible. No.
So the only way that was possible. The only way that's possible is that he was doing this as a way of trying to move up in the ranks of the coaching thing because he had money. You know, Dante already said, you know, he's retired from the military. He got money. He got a pension. So
he got
but so the thing is, Dante, I hear what you're saying, but they don't have a smoking gun just yet. They don't have a smoking gun just yet.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. That's why the FBI is involved, Rodney.
No, that's a different case.
That's why the FBI is involved now. You better look at the most recent updates.
That's a different case. You putting the two cases together. The FBI are involved with
yes, they do.
The FBI are involved with the coach that broke into the other folks' email that access their emails. That's the one that the FBI is involved with, not this particular one right here. But what I'm saying is you're putting the two together. You're putting the two together. I'm not talking about this story.
I'm talking about Connors. The FBI is investigating him too. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's why you saw our headline. He's been fired. Harbaugh cannot get away from this. These are two separate stories. The FBI caught him. They tracked him down. Look it up. Look up the updates of how they figured it out.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, man.
Look how they figured it out. Trust me, right? Trust me on this. Two separate cases. Trust
Dante. The only one, the one that what's his name? Stallion has not been fired. Stallion hasn't been fired yet. He's suspended pending the investigation. The FBI they're not investigating Stallion. They're investigating what's the dude name? Matt Weiss. They're investigating Matt Weiss. Matt Weiss was the one.
Matt Weiss.
Yeah, Matt Weiss is the coach that got fired back in January for hacking the email system for the athletic department and sending out emails saying that they were, he was these particular people. That's what they're investigating. So you're putting the two together. Now, like I said, they don't have a smoking gun on this particular one just yet.
I never. Right. Hold on. I'm going to pull up the actual. I'm trying to find my link. I'm not mixing Matt Weiss. You brought up Matt Weiss to me. This is separate. The reason why Connor Stalions has now been suspended is because the FBI has now got involved because he got caught.
This case, man.
The FBI started having teams look up where he was staying. This is two different things, Rodney. I'm not talking about Matt Weiss.
The FBI
you brought Matt Weiss up. This is recent information. That's why he's been suspended pending an investigation. Because the FBI is involved. I'm gonna put the link up. I still have the link to the FBI. That's why when Dorian brought back up about Michigan and the reconnaissance, that's why I've been talking about the military reconnaissance, Rodney. Have you looked up Connor Stallion's resume, Rodney, and looked up Connor Stallion to not mix with Max Weiss? You keep talking about Matt Weiss.
The
you have not looked updated information on Connor
Dante, what law would have been broken for the FBI to investigate this man going to scout other teams? There's no law, no federal law that he broke. The FBI has nothing to do with that.
Oh, really? So why is he suspended?
He's suspended because of the NCAA investigation, not the FBI. Yes. There's nothing.
The FBI is for Matt Weiss.
I don't find anything about an FBI investigation.
They are now involved in the NCAA investigation. That's why it says pending the investigation. We already said the NCAA ain't crap. The NCAA doesn't do anything. I know what you're saying, Dorian.
I'm looking at it right now.
I know exactly what you're looking at. It's an NCAA investigation. But on the background, the FBI has gotten involved. No,
our fans know about that.
I know exactly what you guys are looking at. You're looking at the
Okay.
NCAA.
Yeah, because I don't see any of it.
But there's more to the background.
They know he take a point and will not come off that point.
Let's move on to another topic, guys. We spend too much time on this. The point being, the dude is cheating. Harbaugh knew he was cheating. Yeah, the point being, Harbaugh knew he was cheating. They've been cheating. At all times, been back in. He needs to be fired.
I don't see. What
was your word, Dorian?
Investigating Max Pikes.
Constitutional control. Institutional control.
Institutional control.
Lack of institutional control. But yeah, they get it. This will be Harbaugh's last year, and it has nothing to do with any of these investigations.
That just goes to the point.
Yeah, this has nothing to do. I mean, Harbaugh won't be here next year, but it has nothing to do with any of these investigations. He's not going to be here because he's going to the San Diego Chargers and take over for as what Peyton Manning called
the idiot head coach.
Idiot head coach. Wow, I'm sorry. Tampa Bay is now down 6 points.
If that's the case, why would they be suspending this guy if everybody still signs? Like you said, that means that somebody in the NCAA has a hard on for Harbaugh.
Exactly.
So that's a bigger story. Because
that's what I said.
If that was like you said,
they want him going.
He's not going to be fired for that. That's the bigger question here, Rodney. We're debating Michigan. So what's the deeper question? Why does the NCAA really want Harbaugh gone?
Because Harbaugh made him look like a
fired for any of these other infractions or these investigations that are going on. I think that's the bigger question.
The reason they want him gone is because Harbaugh made them look like a fool this past year. Not about this. About the
and that goes back again. Who is the they? Who in the NCAA?
Oh.
Don't just say they.
It's the whole NCAA. They want him gone. So,
NCAA.
Anyway, we done with Michigan. Yep, NCAA.
And what do you mean, president? The school?
Man, from the president down to the janitor. They want everybody want to go.
Wants Harbaugh gone.
They want again. He made them look silly this past summer. Anyway, let's get away from Michigan. We're tired of Michigan. Tired of Michigan.
Like Dorian said. Oh
yeah,
man,
I'm wrong. But anyway,
we're gonna probably spend as much time with this dude. He doing Jim Harbaugh type stuff.
We gonna get into another idiot, and that's this idiot from
Hey man, get off my guy, man. ASU alum, man.
I'm gonna need y'all to stop moving my stuff, man.
You ain't gonna talk about my guy.
To the NBA.
Ain't nobody moving nothing.
We're gonna get back to the NBA. Well, not back to. We're gonna go to the NBA.
Your it's right behind the last topic.
Now y'all moved it, and it didn't move it back. But anyway, shut up, man. We going to the NBA, and we're gonna talk about yet again. We're gonna talk about your boy, the beard, James Harden. James Harden, who's missed the last 2 weeks of training camp, has now missed a televised game today, which was a great game. Milwaukee won, I think it was 117, 116. Let me see. 118, 117. Dame Lillard, his first game as a Buck, scored 39 points, had 8 rebounds, and I think it said 4 assists. Let me go. 39, 8, and 4 assists. Balling. 17-17 from the free throw line, 9-20 from the field. He was a plus 12. Giannis finished with 23 and 13. So those guys played their butt off, but so did Philadelphia. Philadelphia, without James Harden, was led by Tyrese Maxey with 31 points. Joel Embiid had 24 and 7 and 6 assists. But the surprise was a pickup for this offseason, Kelly Oubre, who scored 27 points off the bench, was 9 of 11 from the field, 5 or 6 from three-point line, and also gave him 4 assists. So Philly is moving on with or without James Harden. But my question is, should Philly just go ahead and cut bait and trade Harden now, or should they take the hard ass stance and wait until they get closer to the trade deadline when they can actually get more for someone like Harden? Doran, since Dude's not here.
If I'm Philly, then what I'm not going to do is I'm not caving. I'm sorry. You signed a contract.
We talked about this.
You signed a contract. I'm not caving. So I'll wait to the trade deadline and get the most compensation and most value for you that I can. But I'm not caving when you literally just signed a contract extension and now all of a sudden 2 weeks after you signed a contract extension, you want to trade. Nah, I'm not doing that. So I'm keeping you. And if you're not playing, well, hell, we've been playing without you. So you can just sit there and you can do whatever. And you're going to take all these fines. You're going to take all this flack from the NBA because you're missing televised games and because you're doing all this kind of stuff. You're going to take all those fines. You're going to take all of that. And then when the trade deadline comes, I'm going to send you to San Antonio. Something like that, man. So I'm done. I'm really just done with James Harden. I'm really he has.
We've been saying that all season.
He had everywhere he has gone, he's been a problem.
Mm-hmm. Start with OKC.
Everywhere he's gone, he's been a problem. From Oklahoma to from Oklahoma City to Houston, everywhere, man. So I'm done.
Yes, sir.
Houston, Brooklyn. Hey, so it was the reason I put that up there, Rodney.
What's the reason?
That's James Harden. He just like Deshaun Watson. I'm just gonna lay around. I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm just gonna get the money. And that's James Harden now. Okay. That's what he's been doing. Alumni ASU, alumni love him, but hey, get your money, man. They gotta pay him. It's like the Deshaun Watson situation. He knows Philly has to pay him or trade him.
Well, here's the thing. NBA Philly don't have to pay him. If he's the one not showing up for game, not showing up for practice, Philly don't have to pay him. They did that same thing with your boy a couple of years ago.
Ben Simmons. Mm-hmm.
With Ben Simmons a couple of years ago. But so here's
he showed up camp.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem I have though, D. And it's well, first off, this is the second time in 3 years that Morey has gone through this, right? The second time in 3 years. He did the same thing with Ben Simmons, right? Want to wait. But what you're doing is you're hurting your team.
That's
right? The dude don't want to be there. The dude don't want to be there. Get rid of him. Because every day, the other 14 players on the team have to answer the question about what's up with James Harden. And they just went through this 2 years ago. And they're tired of this stuff, man. Plus, you're putting your team in a detriment because now, I mean, you got to know, as much as I don't like Harden, Harden is still a talented player. And they can win more games with him than they can without him. But you need to get something. Now the problem is, and this is the problem that Harden is not understanding.
You just said,
don't nobody want you, bruh.
Yeah, nobody wants you.
Don't nobody want you, and it's because of that reason why you still sitting in Philadelphia and not on another team. Because don't nobody
has to pay him. He's doing it to Deshaun Watson. They can't trade him. You just answered your own question, Rodney. They can't.
No. Again, if he comes
because nobody wants him, so Philadelphia has to pay him.
They have to pay him if he comes and plays. If he comes and plays, yes, they have to pay him. But if he chooses to sit on the sideline and continue with that stance, I'm not playing for Daryl Morey anymore. he's not going to get paid. And the one thing that we know what's going to happen is Harden is going to come and report to camp and all this stuff. And then, like he did before, he's going to come up with some miraculous injury that's going to keep him on the sideline so he can get paid. But he's still not going to play. He's not going to play.
Right.
And I don't care any other GM in the league. If you trade for James Harden, then you the idiot.
Right.
You are the idiot. So, but I gotta get him out of Philly. I mean, Philly, that is a must.
Philadelphia, so the Philadelphia's owner is probably as stupid as the Cleveland's owner.
Well, the owner, it ain't the owner, it's Daryl Morey. And this is what is gonna happen is Daryl Morey gonna lose his job. Because again, this is the second time in 3 years that this stuff has happened. Why is it happening, Daryl Morey? You know, and again, with your boy, with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons should have been traded 6 months before he actually got traded. He should have been gone. But Morey tried to.
How long I've been trying to get Ben Simmons somewhere, Rodney? I tried to get Ben Simmons to Utah.
So, the thing is, Daryl Morey looking at James Harden and say, "Oh, I can get 2 first-round draft picks." Ain't nobody giving you no 2 first-round draft picks. It's not going to happen.
2 first-round draft picks.
It's not going to happen because, matter of fact, on the Knicks.
Can I use you
on the Knicks
references when I for the Philadelphia 76ers general manager
job? on the Knicks, do
a better job, more
right? On the Knicks message board, some dude made the suggestion that the Knicks should actually go and get James Harden, for a playoff run. And I usually don't post, but I had to post and tell this man, James Harden and playoff run are completely mutually exclusive. It just does not happen. Right.
Let's not even have this conversation.
Yeah, we're not gonna have that conversation.
Because he's going to end your playoff run. He always ends your playoff run.
Everybody
never shows up when he needs to show up.
Hey,
to extend.
He'll show up at the strip club though.
That's a good segue, guys. We're just talking about.
That's why you want to go back to Houston.
All right, so skip James Harden.
Let's not have this conversation about James Harden.
Skip James Harden. We done with James Harden.
Speaking of conversations, yeah.
Okay, you broke up, but I think I know what you're about to say. There is another situation that's going on in the NBA, and it has to do with one Dwight Howard. All right, not that one. Now, Dwight Howard has a situation. I'm not really going to get into the situation, but what I will say is that he has.
Why not? You guys are so intrigued about my Gordon last week. Why you ain't gonna get into the situation, Rodney? No.
Nobody care about what you play with, man. All right. Well, real quick.
You made a whole segment about it.
Real quick. I'm gonna give you a synopsis of what happened. So Dwight Howard is involved in a legal matter with another guy that he allegedly had. Well, it wasn't allegedly. He admitted to it. It's not alleged. He admitted to it. He had a sexual relationship with another man.
Well, there's an alleged assault.
That is the other guy is alleging. There you go. That Dwight Howard sexually assaulted him. And today, or actually yesterday, Dwight Howard had to admit in court that
no, that was
4
days ago, right?
When was it?
Oh, court. You're right.
Well, anyway, he had to admit in court. Whatever the day was, he had to admit in court. He had to admit in court that the sexual encounter. The sexual encounter was
consensual.
Consensual encounter. So, but that's not, whatever Dwight Howard's sexual preference is, I can care less. He can do whatever he wants to do. You know, Dwight Howard is one of the best power forward / centers to ever play in this league. But that is the thing that we want to talk about, because he's only 30, like 34, 35, somewhere around there.
Right.
How old is Dwight Howard? Anyway, however old he is, he is 37. I'm sorry. He's 37. He's 37, but at the end of the day, he's still 6'10", 250.
And can get up and down the court.
Still get up and down the court, still block shots, still rebound. It never really had an offensive game, so I'm gonna say
he's just playing overseas.
Playing overseas. But now, you know, he's forced to play overseas because NBA teams won't offer him a contract. The last time he played in the NBA, he played for the Lakers and they won a championship. So the question is, because of this legal situation,
there you go with the trophy.
Is this a reason why Dwight Howard is not currently playing in the NBA? And if so, did the NBA already know about this legal matter, and that's the reason why he's not playing right now? Go ahead, D.
Okay.
Right.
Well, we know.
Real quick, Glory, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, D.
Oh, no. I was just saying that if they knew, of course, that's an issue, right? You know, he's denying the assault, the sexual assault. That's why he had to say that it was consensual. You know, the thing is that it doesn't become, you know, Dante's favorite word, collusion, that the NBA knew about this, and that was and they were using that to deny his entrance into the league to come back and play in the NBA. And that's the issue. You know, when we were texting about this, my thing was you know, if he didn't do this, of course, as we've always said, if you're guilty of this stuff, you're guilty. They need to throw all the books at you. But if he's exonerated from this, I hate it when you have to think about what the implications of this have been for Dwight Howard. So if he is not guilty of this, as he said, and it was consensual, as he said, I really hate it when you have these folks that try to take advantage of people with money so they can get money out of them, right? How they'll ruin someone and ruin someone else for their own personal gain. And that's the one thing the big problem that I have with all this, essentially. Yeah, did the NBA know that this court case was brewing or whatever? It still remains to be seen, you know, what comes out of it. We know he had to admit that it was a consensual relationship. But if it's not a sexual assault, and this case, again, if it's not a sexual assault, that means a falsified case. Some allegations, again, prevented someone from being able to earn a living. I have a big problem with that. And as I have always said, I don't want to speak for anyone else, but as I have always said, let's get all of the information. Let's let everything play out. And then once everything plays out, then we start making these decisions about whether or not we don't hire somebody, if somebody needs to get suspended, if somebody needs to get fired, if somebody needs to get released, and so on and so forth. Then let's make those decisions. Let's stop making these decisions about allegations. But like I said, I really hope that it's not true. I like Dwight Howard as a player. I really hope that, you know, none of this stuff is true. And again, if it's not, then I just hate that somebody again tried to take advantage of somebody for their own personal gain.
Go ahead, Dante.
Kind of following on Dorian, regardless of what his preference is. This was from 2021, so this has been ongoing, and it obviously came out because Dwight went back to court and asked the judge to throw it out. Regardless of, we hope that it's not an assault, because first and foremost, if it's an assault, he's going to jail. potentially, he could potentially go to jail if it's ruled as an assault. If it goes as consensual, which we hope that it does, it goes as consensual. But the question that we're talking about, did the NBA know, regardless of whether it was consensual, he's exonerated from this case, which we hope he is. He's already been defamed because it's out there if he's guilty. Mm-hmm. Did the NBA already know? I think they did. And they used this as a timing to keep him out. And this goes back to, like Dorian said earlier, we talked about this, text about this with former NBA players coming out with this kind of information. This happened in 2021. It's 2023. Now everything's in the legal parameters. Obviously, the assailant didn't pay the money to Dwight to be quiet, if you would, a hush money. Was there more money involved from the NBA to keep this going, to keep him out? We can't even speculate on that. The point being, hopefully he's exonerated of the assault, which is assault. That's a crime. Let's separate this from his sexual preferences, his personal life, like you said, Rodney. Let's separate that. Let's hope he's exonerated. But does that destroy Dwight Howard from becoming an NBA Hall of Famer in his league based on this information that came out? That's what nobody's really touching about. Does this destroy his career to be able to play basketball anywhere in the world again?
So the problem that I have with this whole situation is that this is not you guys can say he can go to jail. This is not a criminal case. This is a civil case, right? It's not a point of him going to jail. It's a point of him paying money. And the problem was that,
exactly right.
that this began in this situation, occurred rather in 2021, but the plaintiff waited a full year to file a claim that he was assaulted, and it wasn't the assault was he touched my leg, he kissed me, and then he had me watch him and another guy do sexual acts, to themselves, and they wanted me to join in, but I didn't join in, blah blah blah. So that's the assault. So you don't go to the police with your claim. You file a civil case to try to sue him.
So he was visually assaulted, is what you're saying, right?
And then you use the text messages that y'all sent back and forth from one another, which to me proves that it was a consensual thing, because you have these text messages, not just one side, not just Dwight sending you stuff, you sending Dwight stuff, right? So you have this back and forth between both of you for 3 months, and then you have this episode. This we used to call it a session. You had this session between Dwight and what's the dude name? Kitty? What it was?
It was Harper was the guy. One guy's named Stephen Harper, and
Harper is the plaintiff.
Is the plaintiff, and Kitty was the third person that supposedly Dwight Howard snuck in out the closet on him.
So, it was again. I'm not here to judge anybody with what they do. I just have an issue with there go Kitty. I just have an issue with how this stuff is being perceived. We have this thing, guilty until proven.
Being presented, until proven guilty. Being presented, right? I perceive being presented by the media.
Right.
Yeah.
But from when the media is involved, it's always guilty until proven innocent. So give him his day in court.
I heard one last thing on this.
Go ahead. So I can finish my last point. Go ahead.
One last thing before we get off of this. This reminds me of the situation with Zion Williamson. If it was a female involved, it would be a Zion situation. Zion is still playing basketball. Big deal. So that's why I want to end this on. Just because it was consensual with a man, it should not affect his ability to still be able to play basketball. And I'll end it with that, on my opinion.
Now that's the part that I want to hit on for real quick. Like I said, the case is one thing, but there's way bigger things going on with athletes. You have athletes that are driving while intoxicated. You have athletes that have 50 different kids out of wedlock. You have athletes that do all kinds of stupid stuff. But yet you still allow them to play in these different sports.
Ocho Cinco.
Now again,
Ocho Cinco, I watch out so religiously.
Oh yeah, your thing about to start. But if the NBA, if they're colluding, as Dante said, amongst themselves to keep him out of the NBA because of this situation, and it's not because of the situation, it's because it's a man and a man and a man. Right. Gotta put that third one in there. If that's what they're colluding, if that's the reason why they're keeping him out of this league, shame on the NBA. Man. Shame on the NBA. The NBA is supposed to be the most progressive league that we have. And if they're holding him out because of this, shame on the NBA, man. That's all I can say. That's all I can say.
All right, so we stand in the NBA, and
we're gonna stay in the NBA. Basketball. Now let's talk the good
side of the NBA.
Let's talk about the good side
of the NBA. No, let's not talk positions. We need to change that. I don't think we should be talking positions about the NBA no more. Take out the top 5 positions. We're talking about the NBA right now, I guess. I don't know.
Sit up.
No, well, y'all treated my gourd, my San Francisco gourd, so bad in last week. Take anything out.
We treated it badly, but you didn't.
Oh man, but Brian had a laugh.
But I want to get to something before we get to the top 5. I got something that goes right along with what Dante was saying.
It's like, what is that?
Right, I didn't know.
Go ahead, D.
So, but no, it's something that he said. When you asked us to compile this list, I went to, I forgot where I went to. I think it was I don't know if it was NBA. Oh man, I can't remember. Did I write it down? Oh man, I forgot where I went. I wrote it down where I went to. But anyway, I found it very interesting.
My bottle getting low.
When you got to certain positions, because it had everybody listed.
That's the clock.
It had everybody listed by name and position. So you could go to shooting guard and it would pull up all the shooting guards. Well, it was so much overlap.
Mm-hmm.
It was guys that they were listing at the 2 that they were also listing at the 1. It was guys that they were listing at the 3 that they were also listing at the 2. And then there were so many less guys that they actually had listed at the 5, or was either the big man positions. It was either the 4 or the 5. Why I could hardly find anybody. Basically, they have everybody listed as a 1, 2, and a 3, except for those who are true 5s and true 4s. So I found that real interesting as I was looking at this list, and it just really reminded me of the fact that we've really gotten to this point of positionless basketball. Really.
Mm-hmm. Well, while we're talking about it, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with point guards. All right.
We forgot to put up banner there.
Oh, my bad. Where we at? Bam.
The NBA is positionless. So we're just going to talk about people out there running around playing the old positions that we were used to. That we can do it, Rodney?
Positine.
Okay. Yeah.
We positine less.
So
go back up there.
It's position.
I know you ain't talking about I know you ain't talking hypocrisy.
Hey, y'all talking about me. We Positine list.
Hypocrisy. Not hypocrisy.
So,
time. That's better than hypocrisy.
Oh, my bad.
The point being,
I was trying to.
So who are the top 5 players in each position?
Go ahead, give me a list.
Thank you, Dory. That's our professor there. He's supposed to be editing all this shit.
Who going first, Dante or me?
You.
Okay.
You got the mic.
I the list is really weird. So the point guard list was really
okay. I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
Dante.
Go ahead.
My top 5 players in the league are Kevin Durant, Giannis, Dame Dollar, the future, Ben Simmons, and the big skinny, look like he Ethiopian 7 foot in San Antonio, and he need to eat like 4 Big Macs. That's my top 5. See, I made it quick and easy. It's positionless.
He's still talking about Ben Simmons.
we ain't going.
Ben Simmons is going to be the comeback player of the year. He's going to be the comeback player.
The assignment correctly.
That's predicting the awards. All right, so
let me see if you actually did the assignment correctly.
All right.
Don't correct. That's just me, bro. I can care less because they positionless. It's a bunch of fools running.
My problem was that, like, I don't a lot of guys that they was considering to be the point guards, right? Like, how can you consider Kyrie and Luka Doncic to be point guards and they playing on the same team at the same time? So for me, when I think about point guards, I think about who's supposed to be a quote pure point guard. Like, I don't even consider Steph a pure point guard, right? I think they just do that because of his height. But I had Brunson, I had Holiday.
All right.
I had De'Aaron Fox. I've got Ja Morant, and I've got Dame Dollar.
Okay. So I do consider Steph to be the point. So for my points, I have Steph at 1. I got Luka 2.
So you consider Luka a point guard? Okay.
I more than anything. He controlled the ball all the time. I got Dame as 3. But this is my boy. SGA. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah, he was on the point guard list too. Yeah,
I got him as my number 4 point guard, and De'Aaron Fox is my number 5 point. Pookie Dooze, he went with he did did his top 5 players. He got Steph as his point. All right, what you got for shooting guard?
Shooting guard, I got see, this is the thing too. You got two of them on the same team. Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. Right? So at the 2 guard,
you got Bradley Beal in your top 5?
Well, no, I'm saying on that list that I was looking at, they had Bradley Beal and Devin Booker listed as shooting guards at 2. But I would really say Anthony Edwards. I would say Devin Booker. I would say, now again, who we listing in this? Because are we saying that Dame is a 2 guard or a point guard?
It's your list, bro. It's your list.
I say Dame Dollar, and then I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in there, and I'm gonna say CJ McCollum.
Ooh, okay. So my shooting guards, I got Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, I got Donovan Mitchell. I'm still a Kyrie fan, and as for Dallas, he plays the 2. Now this is the one. After watching last night game, I might change. I got Jaylen Brown as the number 5, but not the way he played last night. All right. Go to I mean, not that I mind because he was playing against my Knicks, but go ahead. Let's do small forwards. Who you got?
Okay, so small forward. I got Jason Tatum. Got to go with the homeboy. I still got Big Bronny. I got Jimmy Butler. And again, I'm gonna throw another monkey wrench in here with y'all. And I'm gonna say Brandon Ingram. Again, I'm going by the list that I found that had them all kind of jumbled. That's why I say I don't know. I consider Steph to be one of the top players in the league, but is he a 1 or is he a 2? He one of my top 5. He in my top 5 players in the league, period. But is he a 1 or is he a 2? That's the thing. So anyway.
So you want to hear something funny, D?
I
got Durant 1. I got Tatum 2. I got the guy that I hate more than any player in the NBA 3.
Mm-hmm.
I got Jimmy Butler 4. And Brandon Ingram 5.
See, the list that I looked at was a real NBA list. It had Durant at the 4. So see, I would have put Durant. Durant is in my top 4.
Oh, yeah, your power forwards?
For at the 4.
Okay. So go ahead with the power forwards.
So I got Durant. I got Durant. I got Antetokounmpo. I got Sabonis. And I got Zion.
Okay. So I have a power forward.
When healthy, Zion is one of the best players in the league.
So here go my power forwards. I got Giannis. When healthy, AD is still one of the best power forwards in the league.
I can't put street clothes on my list.
I got street clothes, man. But this the one that's gonna blow your mind.
Oh, not blow. Oh.
Rewind the tape. Let's do that again. This is the one that's gonna blow your mind.
Oh.
And that's I got Banchero as my number 3 power forward. Freudian slip.
Your power forward moving forward, huh? Number 3 power forward.
My number 3 power forward. I got Zion 4, and as miraculous as this sounds,
God, please don't say it.
I got Julius Randle.
I knew it. There was no way we was getting through this without a Nick in here somewhere.
I got Julius Randle
Nick
as the number 5 power forward.
Find a way to get a New York Nick in here.
And you put Brunson in there. I was cool with that. I didn't put Brunson in mine.
Me. Exactly. I was being non-biased. I didn't say no Boston. I didn't say no Sun. That's like me saying DeAndre Ayton is going to have a breakout season this year.
Nah, that ain't like saying that.
Stop, Rodney. With that prediction.
Bro, seriously though, Julius averages 25 and 12.
Pretty much.
Come on,
you
man.
Might take a bet.
The brother got the stats. But anyway,
I know.
Last one, D.
Better than DeAndre Ayton,
for the 5,
who claimed he's gonna be the man.
To me, this was the hardest. This is the hardest ones to pick.
I got Joker.
Of course.
I got Embiid.
Of course.
I got Porzingis. I got Big Cat.
Good.
And Mediocre Man.
No, you don't. You do not have Mediocre Man. Okay.
Well, if you think of
that's why
if
these
you
are
think about who else is at the 5, because they had Jared Jackson at the 4.
That's why
he wasn't at the 5. He's not one of the best 4s. Had they put him at the 5, I would have chosen him as the 5. But I don't think Gobert is better than mediocre man. And I couldn't think of anybody else that was any good. So that's why he's number 5. Anyway, sorry, Rod, go ahead.
No problem. I got Joker and Embiid 1 and 2.
18 and 10. Hey, all they need is 18 and 10.
I got Joker and Embiid 1 and 2. I got Bam Adebayo as number 3. I put Sabonis as a 5 versus a 4. You had him as a 4. And then, although I don't know exactly where he's going to end up, but I put him at the 5. And I got I'm a big fan of Wembanyama, man. I think he's gonna be he's gonna be the truth. So and mainly because I couldn't really think of any other 5s to put on that list. Like I said, the 5 the center spot was the hardest one to do, man.
Yeah. So all right, so now that we done predicted the top 5,
he needs to get a new endorsement. He needs an endorsement by a big fast food chain. He can't do Subway. Wembanyama got to eat, man. We got to get him an endorsement. We're going to go on our show tonight.
Real quick. All right, D.
From a fast food chain. That boy needs to eat.
Give me this is all I want is the 2 finals participants for the Eastern Conference, the Western Conference, and then your NBA finals. And then your MVP.
See, you went through a whole lot real quick.
All right, so who's gonna play in the Western Conference Finals?
Oh, who's gonna play in the Western Conference Finals? I think it's gonna be the Nuggets,
Memphis,
and I got the Nuggets. And
now, mind you, this being recorded now.
I'm gonna say the Nuggets. I'm gonna say the Nuggets and the Suns because the Clippers.
Okay.
The Clippers can't stay healthy. I don't know. I kind of want to see. I kind of want to pick the Kings. I just don't know if they can duplicate what they did last year. But I think the Nuggets will definitely be there, and it'll be the Kings or the Suns. I still love my Dubs.
Come on, just 2. We're going through just 2. Just 2 from the Western Conference.
All right, who you got, Dante? Who you got for the West?
Oh, you talking about? Oh, okay. I thought he was doing West and East.
Who you got for the West, Dante?
No, he did. He said Western Conference Finals. Western Conference Finals. I'm actually going with Dorian. I'm going with Phoenix,
Denver and Phoenix,
and Golden State. I'm having Phoenix and Golden State in the Western Conference Finals because of all people, Chris Paul actually looks good.
So
he ain't got to play. He ain't got to play
Western
all
Conference.
the minutes. Carry a team.
So I'm going with in the Western Conference, Phoenix against Golden State.
All right. So my Western Conference.
Yep.
I don't think
Denver carried them in their first game. That they
I don't think Denver is going to repeat what they did last year. They're going to be good, but I don't think they're going to be Western Conference Finals.
Got their whole team back.
I do believe that Phoenix is going to stay healthy enough to go ahead and finally make it to make it again to the finals, Western Conference Finals. And I think this is the year that Zion stays healthy and New Orleans actually makes it to the finals. Remember last year they had the number 1 record in the league until Zion got hurt. So I'm going with New Orleans.
Had some video of Zion in the gym. He's looking good. No, yeah, Zion's in the gym. He's like he routed. After all the controversy he went through at the end of last season, he's been in the gym. He looking about it. Yeah, he looking about it.
All right, let's go through real quick. Eastern Conference. Go, D.
I got Bucks and the Celtics.
Bucks and Celtics.
That was easy. Ain't nobody
Go
else
ahead,
got
Dante.
nuggets for the Bucks and the Celtics.
Easy. Chalk.
And I'm not gonna be a homer. I'm not gonna be
I'm a Celtic. The Bucks in the Boston.
I'm gonna go Bucks and Celtics also.
New York ain't going nowhere near no championship.
That's difficult. If we make this trade for Embiid, man, y'all better watch us.
Yeah, y'all are not getting no Embiid. Okay, stop.
But anyway, all right. So we got Eastern Conference, Western Conference finalists. Who gonna be in the finals? So give me your two final participants.
Remember last year, guys, winner. I kept saying the Suns should have traded Aiden for Embiid.
Yeah, you did say that.
ID.
I got Bucks and Nuggets. Bucks winning in 6.
Ooh, okay. Dante.
Ooh, the Bucks and Nuggets. I got Boston and the Suns going 7. Jay Tatum bringing it home because he close to the 618, baby. Boston winning this year.
Okay. And I'm gonna go with Phoenix and Milwaukee with Dame getting his first championship. All right, and last MVP for the season, D, go.
That's a nice one.
MVP for the season?
Yeah.
Oh,
my bad. You say D, go. I'm tripping.
MVP
that was my bad. Rewind. And MVP for the season? Ask that question again, Rodney, so you can cut that out.
I'm gonna say the Joker. I think voters. What you mean again? He didn't get it last year. Embiid got it,
but he got it 2 years before that.
So he deserved it last year.
If he get 3 out of 4.
He should have had 3.
Wow.
Yeah, he should have had 3.
Okay. So
that's what Rodney said
again. So basically, what you're saying is that he shouldn't get it because he got it the last 2 years ago.
That's not what I'm saying.
He shouldn't win 3 out of 4. I mean,
what I was saying, I'm just like, that's a feat if he can get it 3 years out of 4.
I think it's him.
I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm just saying that'd be something.
I think the running is between him, and Giannis. I think it's between him and Giannis that's going to end up in the MVP race.
Okay, Dante, go ahead. Give me yours.
You can only get one though. Pick one. He said,
I said Joker.
I'm waiting for Dorian to pick his MVP. He went 2 for tat on it. You see what he did right?
No, I didn't. I said
again. That messes up. You know what? You're right. You did. Yeah, because me and Roddy was like, "What again?" So,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I said the Joker. Yeah.
After watching a game the other night, the first game of the season, Kevin Durant is on his decline. And in order for Phoenix to get back to a championship, it's going to be on Devin Booker.
You know what, man? I cannot believe that Dante is in my head right now, because that's Devin Booker is my pick for the MVP.
It's a big ass head, man. Look, it's shiny. You see everything. You think
that's because his hairline way back here.
That's just I'm trying to comb it down. But anyway, the reason I say Devin Booker is because Booker is the true leader of Phoenix. It's not Durant.
I agree.
It's not Durant. It sure is not Bradley Beal. Devin Booker is the Phoenix Suns will go just as far as Devin Booker takes them. He's gonna average a lot more points than he has in the past, because they're relying on him a lot more. Durant is one of the best scorers in the history of the NBA. But even Durant can't keep going at the pace that he's going at. And and they want to preserve him as much as possible because they want him to play during the playoff season. They want him to be physically able to play. Devin Booker is young. He's my number one shooting guard in the league, and he's going to be the reason why Phoenix makes it to the finals. They're going to lose in the finals, but they're going to make it to the finals. So that's my NBA. Those are our top fives, our predictions for the playoffs, and our predictions for the MVP. And of course, all of our predictions will be wrong somehow. It's going to be
we're going to close it.
It's going to be Portland and Utah in the finals because we went with everybody else but them. So that's our NBA for tonight. We got one more topic we want to talk about.
And good thing they can't play each other in the finals.
Exactly.
They're both from the West.
Right.
Exactly. We have one more topic we want to talk about. Something that's near and dear to our heart. And that is high school playoff football. Specifically, Illinois high school playoff football.
The E, the A, the S, the T, the S, the I, the D, the E. It's East
side.
Oh, it's East side. Oh.
I never went there. Never Western. Anyway, y'all, that's right. It's that time of the season. This weekend, this championships at Illinois State. Y'all see where it's going to be held at. Shout out to Joe Polian, graduate of Illinois State University, a math major. I guess that's why he's a degenerate gambler. Joe Polian is a degenerate gambler and a math major from Illinois State. Put two and two together. But anyway, that's another story. It's our time of the year, y'all. Real shout out, because that's where we from. 618 playoff teams. Here's all our classes, y'all. For those that don't know, 8A. This is a whole other topic of discussion, guys, that we'll talk about maybe on the next show, the Southwest Conference, but they had to go elsewhere to even try to get the playoffs to have a chance to win the championships. But anyway, that's a whole other story. 618 playoff teams. As you can see, the big schools, Edwardsville. We went to SIU Edwardsville. Shout out to their high school. 8-1. They're going to be playing. They got a big game. They number 4 playing up there. And then Belleville East. Who knew? Enrollment. They're in the playoffs. So they're going to mess around. They're going to have to play Edwardsville. Hopefully that's the case. That would be interesting.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
That angle, see game 5 games. I didn't look at that. That would be awesome if Edwardsville. I got to look at the brackets again because you guys know in high school football there are 32 teams. It ain't 16. It's 32 teams in each of these classes, if you will, fighting for the chance to win. So if Edwardsville, I got to look at the brackets again. I didn't look at that. See the seedings or whatever. That would be awesome. Edwardsville got to play Belleville East for a chance to win the 8A state championship. Then over to 7A, Collinsville. Shout out to the almighty Dorian.
Collinsville K-Hawks.
Even though Collinsville now is independent. They're no longer in the Southwest Conference, by the way. So shout out to the K-Hawks in Collinsville, who got a dispensary, by the way. And over to 6A.
Go to 4A.
Going back to point. Dante, hold up. Hold on.
Go back. Gordon got a
point. Going back to your earlier point, because I can't figure out how to post it. But there is a way, because Edwardsville being ranked number 4 is at the top of the bracket. And Belleville East being ranked number 11 is at the bottom of the bracket. So actually, the only way that they would end up meeting
on the bottom
would be in the state championship. They would only meet in the state championship. So there is a possibility that they could meet for the state championship, Edwardsville and Belleville East.
Let's make it happen. Go to 4A. We're going to come back to 6A.
Shout out. Let's make it happen. Hey, that's good research real quick right there, Dory. Let's make that happen. Again, Collinsville is independent. You know, they branched off. But, hey, do what you got to do. Do your damn thing, K-Hawks. And then, again, 6A, East side, we'll get back to the 6A and how this all came about. But they're playing Lamont. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Cahokia, fellas, when did y'all ever recall or remember Cahokia in the playoffs? So good luck.
Well, they are only 5-4.
Playing
you know, I thought they said 5-4. I can't see nothing.
So shout out Joe Polian again.
They barely made the playoffs, but they made it.
Hey man, they're in the playoffs.
You think there's a chance?
Collinsville in the playoffs. Belleville East in the playoffs. Edwardsville in the playoffs. And had they not been in the new division class, they wouldn't be in the playoffs. We'd be talking about East Side, but that's a whole nother story. And then finally, Althoff. Y'all remember Althoff used to be 3A. I have a huge problem with Althoff. Althoff played Belleville. I went to Belleville West, by the way, guys. I'm an alumni of Belleville West, you know, from East St. Althoff has never, ever played East St. Louis. And believe it or not, their enrollments almost became almost identical when Eastside was actually 3A. And what did Althoff do? Oh shit, Eastside might go 3A. They went down to 1A. Althoff been winning bogus championships forever for playing weak schools, little farm country schools with kindergartens playing on it. But anyway, they back in the playoffs again. They no longer in 3A. They're down to 1A. And who are they playing? I thought it was playing a school from Alabama at first, Rodney. You see that Tuscola. I have no idea, but see, Tuscola is 5-4.
It's about
so chances are Althoff is going to win.
Tuscola is up by Champaign. That's where the outlet mall is in Champaign.
Exactly.
Tuscola.
I don't care where they at. They 5-4.
It's between Champaign. It's right between Champaign and Charleston.
Oh, Charleston. It's close to Charleston. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, anyway, enough of them. This is what we came to talk about, y'all. We came to give homage to y'all alma mater. Can the Flyers repeat the state champions? For those that don't know, never watched our show, the East St. Louis Flyers, one of the most dominant high school football teams in America. They just celebrated their 8th consecutive Southwest
football team in Illinois history.
Give us our props. Say it again, D. I don't think he heard you.
Right there.
All-time winningest high school.
I don't think he heard. Say it again.
In Illinois history.
All-time winnings in Illinois history, y'all. Y'all didn't know. But this playoffs, guys, a lot of things are involved. A lot of things are at stake here. The field goals, I've been watching every Eastside game, and shout out to my boy Spud Ballard, James Strickland. We throw the hats up, hooty hoo. When I be trying to find the Eastside games on Facebook, YouTube, I get them. I even got a subscription, and I don't know who running Eastside football games, running their social media. They need to be fired. Dorian, go take over something. Anyway, point being, here are the keys to the game. We know Pops is good. We know Terrion, he gonna run that thing. But you see to the right there, guys. I done watched them all year. We done known since we was kids. Eastside ain't never had a kicker. But Rodney, y'all, I mean, what was the boy name? The best kicker Eastside ever had? Give him a shout out,
man. Robert Alexander.
Julio. That we called him Robert Alexander. His name is Robert
Alexander, and we called him Julio.
Give him a shout out.
Shout out to Robert Alexander.
Which brings up a point. I'm glad Rodney said that. We talked about baseball. Shout out Julio. Which brings up a point. You got I-11. You got Fairmount City. You got Caseyville and all these other suburbs. Eastside.
Caseyville's a suburb.
Y'all can't. A white boy from Caseyville or something. Somebody to come in.
Somebody that played soccer. Somebody.
Kicker. Reese Shanklin. He's the backup quarterback to Pops, y'all. But some. Right. Caseyville from one of the East St. Louis suburbs. Fairmount City. We got right there on 111. Going towards Fairmount City. We got Rigoberto's. Somebody played soccer. They can kick a field goal.
He got the right name, Shanklin.
And the reason why I had it up there, remember, guys, Eastside. And all he does is shank. And all he does is shank, y'all. So the reason I got this up, you see in the bottom left corner, Eastside played Lemont last year, who was the #1 seed last year. Eastside upset them. And by what do you believe? 3 points, a field goal. It didn't come down to that, but that's how it happened. It wasn't all because of Shanklin. That's going to be critical. Y'all all know Eastside never kick. They'll send them out there early, test them out. If it ain't working right, they go for 2 all the rest of the game.
They ain't gonna worry about it.
They got to get away from that. Point being, they got to start recruiting. Go get Hispanic, go get a white guy, take somebody in the kicker. But God, like Dorian said, they without a kicker, we go for 2. Goddamn, Eastside been doing what the NFL just started to do. Go for 2 on 4th down. Eastside been doing it for 40-something years.
We don't kick field goals and we don't punt.
Idiot kickers. We don't need them. Which brings me to a point. Shout out, guys. And we don't punt, goddammit. Even Madden, East St. Louis, these 2 coaches right here revolutionized Madden. We go for it on 4th down. We don't kick field goals. East St. Louis, I wanted to bring this up, guys, because Darren Sunkett has a chance to make history over these playoffs as well. Y'all all know Coach Bob Shannon, the most winningest coach at one school at East St. Louis, and then Darren
Greatest coach ever.
These 2 coaches combined, like Dorian pointed out, themselves have combined over a quarter of the wins and victories of championships in the Southwest, in Class 6A, 7A, wherever they had Eastside in. Over 40 years, they have 10 of them. That's a quarter of all the championships coming from one little small-ass little city in Illinois, y'all. And so I want to give a shout-out to Coach Darren Sunkett, because if they repeat this year, he will tie the legendary Hall of Fame for most wins, and that will be at 204 in Illinois history. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Eastside, all the 618 teams. Football is going to be honest with you. So tune in to your YouTubes, look up the games, the Edwardsville games. The times are up there. Let's follow some football. Shout out 618. And I want to end it on that. For me, guys, it's football season. I'm loving high school football.
Sounds good to me. We can end it there.
Well, hold up. I want to point out, D made it a point. Like I said, we had 10 championships in the last 40 years, right? But also, these are the 2 coaches for the last 40 years, and they only have 77 losses compared
97. 97.
Isn't that a 37 and a 40?
37 and a 60.
Oh man, bro, this writing is way too small.
Yep.
Way too small.
Maybe you need to get you some thicker glasses.
Hey, bro. Hey, it might have to. I'm trying to look. It still looks like a 40 to me. Whatever it is. Okay, it is. I made it full screen.
I made it full screen. They still have, neither one of them have lost a combined 100 games.
Mm-hmm. In 40 years.
They are literally, they have at 400, they have literally won.
And the other thing, 80%, one other thing, hopefully
more than 80% of all of their games they have won.
Which is crazy. Absolutely crazy.
And 25% of the games they coached and won titles in. Oh, yeah, one other thing. Darren Sunkett is also trying to do something he has not been able to accomplish, which only Bob Shannon done, and that was repeat. As we know, them great years of 83 through 86, where they three-peated and had 2, not just 2 state champs, 2 national champions. 2 national champions in them 83 years. You see the 83, 86, they had 2 national championships to go alongside with their state championships. A lot of people don't understand and realize that. East St. Louis Flyers or Maxfield, they're one of the top football teams in the country, folks.
It was actually 83, 84. They was national champions in 85. And then they was national champions again in 89. The year after we left. My class at Eastside was actually the only class to not get a state championship. We went to the state title game twice, my junior year and senior year, because we lost in the quarterfinals Rodney's senior year. My junior and senior year, we went to the state title game and lost.
13
and
one.
The next year, my freshman year in college, they won the national championship and the state championship again in the 89 season. So
87 needs to come with an asterisk because that's the 2 games we lost.
The mud game.
Kerwin got hurt.
The mud game in Granite City.
And that game was horrible.
When they watered the field down.
Let's
not get started.
And that's how Kerwin broke his ankle.
Right, but anyway, we don't want to end on a bad note.
That's a great show.
We want to end on a
good shout out. I hate for Darren Sunkett to leave East St. Louis Flyers, but I want Darren Sunkett to be the coach of that jersey that Rodney's wearing tonight. I tried to market and promote Darren Sunkett for the ASU job. And guess what? ASU's in the Big Ten now, wherever they're going, somewhere close. Darren Sunkett should be in college football, guys, and he should be coaching Illinois. I'm glad Illinois is now in the Big Ten, and Darren Sunkett should be the coach of that team.
You see, glad Illinois is now in the Big Ten. Where were they before?
If you don't like what I got to
say. Anyway, so with that,
on that note,
with Arizona, with the teams with the merger coming over, Darren Sunkett should be coaching. He should be coaching in the Big Ten, in particular at Illinois.
Hey,
and on that note.
Hey, bring him on. So anyway, on that note, we had a wonderful time tonight.
Oh, what happened, right? What happened?
How the host gonna leave? Alzheimer's is real, y'all. On behalf of dudes who couldn't be
me off.
That was hilarious.
It kicked me off.
I had to get dudes to fill in for you as host.
It kicked me off.
Alzheimer's.
Oh wow. Well, that has never happened before.
Right.
Anyway, on that note, we've had a wonderful evening today. Again, thanks each and every one of you for tuning in as you have. We appreciate each and every time that you do. But go ahead, if you haven't already, press that like button, press that subscribe button and the notification button and any other button that you might want to push.
And more importantly,
you can, if you want to contact us, you can send us an email.
I want to hear. Let us know what you like, don't like.
Our email is boogieblaming@gmail.com. D still hates that. You can go to our website, BLOTB Podcast. What Dante call it? BHpodcast.com. And look at the new stuff that we do.
One last thing.
Go ahead, D.
One last thing, man. And I really hate to end this on this, but we should have done this at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
But man, before we go, I want to give a shout out and a big rest in peace to our homeboy Chucky Peabody.
Chucky,
who passed away recently. Known him since high school, went to college at U of I together. That's my dude, and I'm real sorry that he's no longer here with us. But just let me say, for Black men out there, mental health is a real issue.
Yes, it is.
And do not be afraid to reach out to your friends, to your family, reach out to professionals if you feel like that you're struggling and you need help. All right. But I like I said, I don't want to end on a somber note because we had ended good, talking about Eastside football. But I had to bring that up because Chuck been on my mind all day, since we found out that he passed away. So man, love you, Chuck. Rest in peace, my brother. And we'll see you on the other side, man.
And on behalf of dudes who couldn't be here with us tonight,
dude,
kiss it.
And on that note, we out.
Don't blame it on sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. I don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. Sunshine, sunshine, moonlight, moonlight, good times. Blame it on the boogie.